Don't cling to who you think you should be or how your life should look. Let go of your expectations. Carl Jung. How often do we find ourselves looking at others' lives and feeling like we're behind, like we're falling short of the milestones we thought we'd have achieved by now? In a world that seems to move at the speed of light, where achievements flash before us in an instant on social media, it's easy to get lost in comparisons and feel like we're failing in some way. This feeling of being behind in life is a burden many of us carry, one that can leave us paralyzed, stuck in a spiral of doubt and regret. Carl Jung offers us a key to unlock this inner prison: radical acceptance of our own unique and unrepeatable journey. According to Jung, our life path is shaped by a complex process of psychological development that he calls individuation. Individuation is the journey toward becoming who we truly are, not who we think we're supposed to be. It's a call to abandon the illusion of a universal timeline that dictates where we should be at each stage of life. Jung invites us to explore this idea by breaking down the expectations imposed by the ego and society. He believed that true growth only happens when we stop trying to fit our lives into pre-made molds and start listening to the inner voice that guides us toward our unique purpose. When we feel like we're behind, we are in fact disconnected from our own process of individuation, trying to align ourselves with external standards that don't resonate with our inner essence. The sensation of being behind is a symptom of a deep disconnection from our personal journey. Jung challenges us to look within, to understand that our path is neither linear nor comparable to anyone else's. It's a spiral of discovery, revisiting the same points over and over again, revealing them in new lights and perspectives. When we accept this, we begin to move toward a more authentic and meaningful life. Now let's dive deeper into Jung's concept of individuation and understand how it can help us find our way when we feel lost and behind in life. And to grasp how to deal with the feeling of falling behind in life, it's crucial to explore Carl Jung's concept of individuation. Individuation is one of the fundamental pillars of Jung's analytical psychology, referring to the process by which a person becomes aware of themselves, integrating all aspects of their psyche, both conscious and unconscious, into a harmonious whole. According to Jung, this process is not just a quest for self-knowledge, but a journey to realize the full potential of the human being. Individuation guides us toward what he called the self, a state of balance and unity where all parts of our personality coexist harmoniously. When we feel behind in life, it's often because we're focused on a narrative of success imposed by external factors like society, culture, or family expectations, instead of listening to the call of the self. The pressure to reach certain milestones, whether in career, relationships, or even in our self-image, is often a reflection of what Jung identified as the dominant influence of the ego. The ego is the conscious part of our mind that's concerned with how we are perceived by the outside world, building an identity based on social standards and norms. When we're overly identified with the ego, our lives are driven by superficial desires and a constant comparison with others. The path to freeing ourselves from this psychological prison is to look inward and acknowledge the presence of the shadow, a central concept in Jung's theory. The shadow is made up of the aspects of ourselves that we repress or deny because they don't fit the image we want to project. Often, feelings of inadequacy and the sense of being behind in life emerge from this shadow as it contains all our fears, insecurities, and beliefs that we're not good enough. Jung believed that by confronting our shadow and integrating it into our conscious self, we can begin to unlock our true potential and stop measuring ourselves by external standards. This process of integration allows us to discover what we genuinely want from life, beyond social expectations and the need for approval. Individuation, therefore, calls us to step out of comparisons with others and to find our own pace, respecting our time and experiences. To make the concept of individuation clearer and show how it applies to the feeling of falling behind in life, let's consider some practical examples and reflections on this inner journey. Imagine a young woman named Anna who has always followed a well-defined path: college, job, and the expectation of getting married and starting a family by the age of 30. When her friends started reaching these milestones while she still felt lost in her career and was single, Anna began to compare herself and felt a deep sense of failure. She believed she was falling behind. that she had wasted opportunities, and that something was fundamentally wrong with her. What Anna was experiencing was the influence of the ego and the voice of social expectations, speaking louder than her own self. She was trapped in a collective narrative about what it means to be successful, and by comparing herself to others, she forgot to ask herself what she truly wanted for her own life. This is a classic example of how a lack of connection with the journey of individuation can make us feel small, inadequate, and out of place. Jung would teach that Anna needs to look inward and explore her shadow, the fears, doubts, and insecurities she represses because they contradict the image of success she's trying to project. Perhaps she would discover that the fear of being judged for not keeping up with others is what's holding her back from exploring passions and interests she's always had, but never allowed herself to develop. Another example is Jung, who spent years working in a career he hated but believed was the right choice because it provided financial stability. At the age of 40, he realizes he feels deeply unsatisfied and unmotivated. The feeling of having wasted time and being behind in relation to his real dreams consumes him. For Jung, this crisis is an opportunity for Jung to begin his process of individuation, questioning what truly makes him happy and freeing himself from the expectations of a predetermined path. By accepting that his journey is unique, Jung can start to see his crisis not as a setback, but as an invitation to realign his life with his true self. He needs to learn to embrace his feelings of failure and regret, understanding them as signs that he's ready for a deeper transformation. These examples illustrate how embracing our shadow and engaging in the process of individuation can help us find clarity and purpose even when we feel like we're behind. When we let go of the need to compare ourselves to others and respect our own pace, we start to build a life that truly belongs to us. As we deepen our understanding of the concept of individuation and accept the feeling of being behind in life, we begin to see how this personal journey is deeply connected to the collective unconscious and the archetypes that Carl Jung explored. The collective unconscious, according to Jung, is the reservoir of memories and experiences shared by all of humanity, containing universal patterns and symbols that manifest in our lives through myths, dreams, and behaviors. When we feel like we're behind in life, we might unconsciously be reacting to powerful archetypes, such as the hero or the explorer. The hero archetype, for example, is associated with expectations of achievements, overcoming challenges, and reaching significant milestones on a clear and linear timeline. Feeling behind can be a sign that we are trapped in the hero's narrative, believing that we must prove our worth to the world through tangible accomplishments. By recognizing these influences, we can begin to step out of these archetypal patterns and find a path that aligns more closely with our true nature, free from the pressures of societal standards and unrealistic expectations. However, Jung suggests that there are other archetypes that also play a crucial role in our journey, such as the seeker and the sage. These archetypes are not so concerned with material achievements or external recognition. Instead, they focus on the inner journey, on the wisdom that comes from experience, and on a deep understanding of oneself. The seeker invites us to explore our own path, regardless of where it may lead, while the sage teaches us that the true value of life lies in inner growth and self-knowledge. When we accept that we are off the normal path of success and allow ourselves to connect with these more introspective archetypes, we can begin to see the feeling of being behind as an opportunity for spiritual and emotional growth. Individuation challenges us to transcend the demands of the ego and to listen to the voice of the self, which whispers about our true and unique purpose, often hidden beneath the pressure to conform to societal expectations. By integrating these archetypes and embracing our shadow, our fears, insecurities, and the parts of us we judge as inadequate, we start to see that the time we thought we lost was not really lost at all. It is, in fact, an essential part of our development, a preparation for discovering who we truly are. Failure and the sense of being behind are signs that we are moving beyond the illusions of the ego and touching the depths of our psyche. It is through this process that we find true freedom, not in achieving the goals that society sets, but in embracing the unique journey that belongs to us alone, following our own inner compass. Carl Jung offers us a powerful and transformative perspective on the feeling of falling behind in life. True freedom and fulfillment are not found in comparisons or in meeting external expectations, but in the commitment to our own journey of individuation. When we accept that each of us has a unique path, guided by an inner compass that responds to the self and not the ego, we begin to understand that there is no such thing as being behind or ahead in life, only an authentic and personal rhythm. This idea reminds us that the search for meaning and fulfillment should not be based on racing against others, but on a deep dive into ourselves. It is in accepting our failures, regrets, and moments of stagnation that true awakening resides. When we look inward and embrace our shadow, the part of us that contains our insecurities, doubts, and wounds, we become capable of transforming ourselves in meaningful and lasting ways. It's important to recognize that the feeling of being behind is often an invitation to step away from external expectations and to embrace a new narrative. A narrative that celebrates our uniqueness, our mistakes, and even our missteps as essential parts of our growth. By freeing ourselves from judgment and comparisons, we create space for our true potential to unfold. The journey of individuation is like alchemy. It transforms experiences of pain and loss into wisdom and self-awareness. Jung believed that every struggle carries within it an opportunity for growth, and that by accepting our wounds and vulnerabilities, we are preparing ourselves for a higher level of consciousness and inner freedom. It's not about ignoring or minimizing the pain, but about integrating it as a fundamental part of what makes us human and authentic. So, if you feel like you're behind in life, remember that your path is not a mistake or a detour. It's the unique trail you need to walk to become the truest version of yourself. By following this path, you move away from the illusions of the ego and draw closer to the self, finding a life that, while it may not follow conventional standards of success, is rich in purpose, meaning, and authenticity. Jung's final message is clear: don't look outside of yourself, look within. The true path is the one you create from your own experiences, from your shadows and your light. Embrace the journey of individuation and discover that it's never too late to find your own way, because life is a continuous dance of discoveries and transformations. In this dance, true success is being true to yourself, respecting your own pace, and trusting that, even if you feel like you're behind, you are exactly where you're meant to be on your personal journey. I hope this reflection inspires you to look at your own journey with more compassion and to connect more deeply with your inner truth.